We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Tensions continue to soar in West Asia as Israel tells US that Iran is getting ready for a large-scale attack. US deploys a guided missile submarine and a carrier strike group to the region. Hamas refuses to send delegation to participate in new Gaza ceasefire talks, asks the mediators to return to existing Gaza ceasefire proposal. Ukraine and Russia trade accusations over fire at Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Fire extinguished after midnight. IAEA says no impact reported to nuclear safety. And Paris hands over baton to Los Angeles as the 33rd Olympic Games conclude with grand ceremony. Tom Cruise rappels from the roof of stadium and receives the Olympic flag. Well, on to the details now. Qatar, Egypt and the United States are pushing once again to try and finalize a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Though Hamas is asking to implement a ceasefire plan for Gaza put forward by US President Joe Biden instead of holding more negotiations. With this statement, Hamas has cast doubt on its participation in a Thursday meeting called by the mediators, which would happen in either Cairo or Doha to finalize a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal. Israel said it would send negotiators to take part in the meeting. Hamas initially said it was studying the offer but has now hinted it may stay out of the new round of talks. Hamas said the assassination of its leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran late last month indicated that Tel Aviv is not serious about pursuing a ceasefire agreement on which Israel has not denied or claimed responsibility. President Joe Biden laid out a three-phase ceasefire proposal in an address on the 31st of May. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant spoke on Sunday with US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and told him Iran's military preparations suggest Iran is getting ready for a large-scale attack on Israel. Well, perceiving the threat of a possible attack by Iran or Israel, US has ordered deployment of its giant guided missile submarines in West Asia waters. The US move is aimed to thwart spread of conflict in the Middle East and hinder any other countries to join hands with Iran. In talks with his Israeli counterpart Yoav Gallant on Sunday, the US Secretary of Defense Yoav Gallant assured security of Israel and said that he has ordered the U.S. Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group equipped with F-35C fighters to move towards Central Command area of responsibility. This move will further add to the capabilities already provided by the USS Theodore Roosevelt's Carrier Strike Group. Additionally, the U.S. Defense Secretary has also ordered the USS Georgia guided missile submarine to the Central Command region. In his talks, Austin told the Israeli Defense Minister to exercise control over harms to civilians in Gaza and move towards ceasefire agreement with Hamas to secure release of hostages and to discourage spread of conflict in the region and aggression by Iran, Lebanese Hezbollah and other Iran-aligned groups across the region. And Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards are holding military drills in the western parts of the country that will continue until Tuesday, Iran's official news agency announced on Sunday. The drills, which started on Friday, are ongoing in the western province of Kermanshah, close to the border with Iraq, to enhance combat readiness and vigilance, an armed force official told IRNA. The drills are taking place as Iran has vowed to retaliate against Israel after the killing of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh on July 31st in Tehran. Iran and Palestinian Islamist group Hamas accuse Israel of carrying out Haniyeh's assassination on the 31st of July. Israel has not claimed or denied responsibility for the killing, which has fueled further concern that the war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip was turning into a wider Middle East war. In a statement, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned Iran and its Lebanese-based proxy Hezbollah, whoever harms us in a way that has not been done in the past is likely to be hit in a way that hasn't been done in the past. He added that Israel did not want war breaking out on additional fronts, but that it must be prepared. Cited by Iranian media, Revolutionary Guards Deputy Commissioner Ali Fadavi said on Friday that the Iranian Supreme Leader's orders regarding the harsh punishment of Israel and revenge for Haniyeh are clear and will be implemented in the best possible way. And some updates on Ukraine-Russia conflict now. A fire was erupted in a cooler tower at Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, currently under Russian control on Sunday. Moscow and Kyiv accused each other of starting the fire, with both sides reporting no sign of elevated radiation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky blamed Russia for the fire and said that Russian forces had lit a fire on the premises of the plant, adding that it was visible from Kyiv-held territory. A video posted by Zelensky on social media appeared to show fire and thick smoke inside one of the plant's cooling towers. Meanwhile, the UN nuclear watchdog Grossi said its experts had witnessed strong, dark smoke coming from the northern area of the plant following multiple explosions, but confirmed that there is no impact on nuclear safety. And Belarusian Defense Ministry released footage of several tanks being loaded onto a train ready for transportation, accusing Ukraine of violating its airspace. Early on Saturday, Belarus said it sent more troops to reinforce its border with Ukraine, adding that Ukrainian drones had violated its airspace in the course of Kyiv's military incursion into Russia's Kursk region. Belarus Foreign Ministry summoned Ukraine's charge d'affaires and demanded measures to ensure that such incidents would not recur. Meanwhile, Moscow sends reinforcements and evacuates civilians from the Kursk region. Dasha Chernysheва has more from Moscow on this.
Moscow said on Sunday that it had foiled Ukrainian attempts to break through deep into the Russian territory. Russian Ministry of Defense said it continued to fight against the Ukrainian incursion in the Kursk region and had destroyed up to 1,400 Ukrainian troops since Tuesday. It also released the videos showing the destruction of the Ukrainian military hardware. The MOD also said that it hit the Ukrainian military in the Sumy region of Ukraine. Local authorities have confirmed that more reinforcements were coming their way to the Kursk region to stabilize the situation and ensure safety. Meanwhile, evacuations are ongoing, with more than 8,000 people leaving the Kursk region on Sunday. And the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said that Russia would have, quote, a tough response to the Ukrainian attacks on Russia's border regions. Dasha Chernysheва reporting in Moscow for DD India.
Well, in U.S. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance has fired back at the people who attacked his wife of Indian origin, Usha Chilukuri Vance. During an interview given to an American channel, Vance has publicly disavowed far-right white supremacist Nick Fuentes, who recently attacked Usha Vance for her Indian heritage. White supremacists have launched verbal assaults and attacks on Vance and his family after Vance joined Trump's re-election campaign last month. He said that the best thing to do about them is to ignore them.
My attitude to these people attacking my wife is, she's beautiful, she's smart. What kind of man marries Usha? A very smart man and a very lucky man, importantly. And my view is, look, if these guys want to attack me or attack my views, my policy views, my personality, come after me. But don't attack my wife. She's out of your league.
Well, J.D. Vance also defended the Trump campaign's immigration proposals during an interview if he and Donald Trump are elected.
Absolutely right. You cannot have a border unless you're willing to deport some people. I think it's interesting that people focus on, well, how do you deport 18 million people? Let's start with 1 million. That's where Kamala Harris has failed, and then we can go from there.
Well, Venezuela's opposition leader Maria Corina Machado called for worldwide protest on August 17th. In a video on social media, Maria Corina Machado called for support for the opposition's claimed election victory over President Maduro.
Que no te reconoces en esta Venezuela que estamos viviendo.
This Saturday, August 17, we are going to take the streets of Venezuela and of the world wherever there is Venezuelan. We will be there together. Have confidence. This time it is different because we are different. Let's shout together for the world to support our victory and recognize truth and popular sovereignty.
Que has perdido a alguien querido.
Well, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame was sworn into office on Sunday for a 5-year term after a landslide win in last month's election extended his near quarter century in office. The 66-year-old former rebel leader won the July poll with 99.18% of the vote after 8 other candidates, including his most vocal critics, were barred by the Electoral Commission. Kagame won acclaim from Western and regional leaders for helping end the 1994 genocide and turning Rwanda into an attractive investment and aid destination. But his reputation has been sullied by allegations of rights abuses, accusations he has denied. Sunday's swearing-in took place at Kigali's Amahoro National Stadium with thousands in attendance. Kagame received a military 21-gun salute, accompanied by cheers from the crowd. 22 heads of state from African countries were in attendance. And updates from neighbouring Bangladesh now. Sajid Wajid, the son of former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, refuted reports surfacing on social media regarding her resignation. Wajid strongly denied the authenticity of the statement, asserting that the report attributed to his mother published in a newspaper is completely false and fabricated. In a post on X, he wrote, "The recent resignation statement attributed to my mother published in a newspaper is completely false and fabricated. I have just confirmed with her that she did not make any statement either before or since leaving Dhaka." And a wildfire broke in Carbalan in Spain's lush northeastern region of Aragon that led the authorities to confine the nearby town due to heavy smoke and to deploy firefighters backed up by water bomber aircraft. The blaze quickly spread, fanned by the wind. Spain has experienced a number of heat waves this summer, leading the weather agency to warn locals of the high risk of wildfires. Thick smoke billows from wildfire near Athens, Greece. More than 250 firefighters backed by 12 waterbombing planes and 7 helicopters battled the blaze that broke out at 1500 local time and quickly reached the village some 35 kilometers north of Athens as residents fled their homes, and the blaze continued to spread as night fell when the sky turned orange. Hundreds of wildfires have broken out across Greece this summer, which just recorded its hottest June and July on record after its warmest winter. And news from around the world now. Banksy on Sunday unveiled a new artwork in London depicting a shoal of fish on a police sentry box, his 7th animal-themed piece to surface in the British capital over the last week. The series, created by the elusive street artist, has sparked a frenzy of media interest and questions over its meaning. The newest offering appears to have been made using translucent spray paint, turning it into what looks like a giant fish tank. In Colombia, the art of floristry is deeply embedded in the nation's cultural heritage, celebrated through vibrant festivals and traditions that showcase the country's rich biodiversity and the skill of its artisans. One of the most notable celebrations is the annual flower festival in Medellin, which highlights the work of florists and flower growers known as siliteros. The Huko Waterfall wows visitors with its spectacular views in early autumn, stretching its for hundreds of meters and showing the raw power of nature. Over the past few days, the Huko Waterfall's flow has surged to over 1,500 cubic meters per second. This increase is due to recent rainfall in the China's Yellow River that caused havoc during China's peak flood season. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Doctors announce pan-India strike to agitate against the alleged sexual assault and murder of Kolkata doctor. We'll show you a report on Vikram Sarabhai, a pioneer in India's space program, as we look at his remarkable contributions on his birth anniversary today. And fireworks light up Paris' sky as the 33rd Olympics game conclude with grand ceremony. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. And moving on, India's SEBI chairperson Madhabi Puribuk and her husband Dhaval Bok have chunked recent allegations by US-based Hindenburg Research as baseless. The report, released on August 10th, claims that they were involved in Adani Group's offshore funds. In response, the duo reaffirmed their transparency, stating all required disclosures have been made. Meanwhile, Adani Industries and BJP leader Rajiv Chandrasekhar have also rejected the claims. Akshay Dongre reports for more.
Securities and Exchange Board of India chairperson Madhabi Butch has junked fresh allegations by the US-based short seller Hindenburg Research. The short seller on 10th August released a new report levelling allegations against Indian market watchdog chief and her husband Dhaval Butch that both were involved in Adani Group's offshore funds. SEBI chief refuted the allegations in a statement where she said, "In the context of allegations made in the Hindenburg Research dated 10th August 2024 against us, we would like to state that we strongly deny the baseless allegations and insinuations made in the report. The same are devoid of any truth. Our life and finances are an open book. All disclosures as required have already been furnished to SEBI over the years. We have no hesitation in disclosing any and all financial documents, including those that relate to the period when we were strictly private citizens, to any and every authority that may seek them. Further, in the interest of complete transparency, we would be issuing a detailed statement in due course." The report by Hindenburg comes shortly after SEBI served a show cause notice to US-based short seller for a variety of violations in India. SEBI said, "It is unfortunate that instead of replying to the show cause notice, they have chosen to attack credibility of SEBI and attempt character assassination of the SEBI chairperson." Meanwhile, the Adani industry also refuted the allegations by the US-based short seller Hindenburg Research as recycled claims that were earlier proven baseless and dismissed by the Supreme Court of India. BJP leader and former Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar hit out at Hindenburg and called its report a malicious attempt to destabilize and discredit one of the world's strongest financial systems and create chaos in the world's fastest growing economy, India.
And this is clearly a hit job, and this is and I think your viewers must understand there is a certain plan behind this, because please understand, India's financial system today is one of the strongest in the world. Even in the US, when banks are failing and stock markets are crashing, Indian banks are strong. Indian financial sector has been rebuilt over the last 10 years by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Our stock markets, our investors are participating, global investors are participating. It is one of the strongest in the world. Our economy is the fastest growing in the world.
This was the second attempt by Hindenburg to bring down the Indian market. In January 2023, Hindenburg had released a report alleging stock market violations by the Adani Group of companies. However, the Supreme Court of India later gave a clean chit to Adani Group of companies. The US government also called the allegations leveled by Hindenburg as irrelevant. Bureau Report, DD India.
While moving on, resident doctors at major government hospitals across India's capital, Delhi, are set to indefinitely halt all elective services starting from Monday to protest against the alleged sexual assault and murder of a resident doctor in eastern India's Kolkata. The doctors are demanding immediate action in the case and measures to ensure protection for all healthcare workers. Federation of Resident Doctors Association, in a meeting on Sunday, also demanded CBI inquiry, fast-track court, removal of the principal of RG Kar Medical College and the formation of the Central Protection Act Committee. The tragic incident, which occurred on August 9th, has led to widespread outrage and protest. Meanwhile, in the wake of the rape and murder of a female postgraduate trainee doctor at RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, the West Bengal government has appointed Professor Dr. Bulbul Mukhopadhyay as the new medical superintendent cum vice principal of the college. Well, today marks the birth anniversary of father of Indian space program, Vikram Sarabhai, a rare combination of a scientist, an innovator, industrialist and a visionary. More on this report.
Vikram Sarabhai was born on August 12, 1919 and was a pioneer in India's space program. He embarked on a journey that would forever shape the nation's scientific landscape. After completing his education in Ahmedabad and at the University of Cambridge, his passion for natural sciences led him to present his honours examination in 1940. Following the Second World War, Sarabhai returned to Cambridge to pursue a doctorate, culminating in his thesis on cosmic ray investigation in tropical latitudes in 1945. Back in India by 1947, at just 28, he founded the Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad, setting the stage for groundbreaking scientific research. He also established the Indian National Committee for Space Research, which later evolved into the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO. Under his visionary leadership, India launched its first satellite, Aryabhat, in 1975, marking a significant milestone in the country's space journey. Sarabhai's contributions were not confined to space. He played a pivotal role in founding the Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad in 1962, recognizing the need for advanced management education. His commitment to science education also led to the creation of the Vikram Sarabhai Community Science Centre in 1956. Internationally, Sarabhai fostered collaborations, notably with NASA, leading to the Satellite Instructional Television Experiment in 1975, which revolutionized communication in India. His vision also included India's nuclear program, establishing the first rocket launch station at Thumba in 1963. Though Sarabhai passed away in 1971, his legacy lives on, inspiring generations of scientists and researchers. Honored with the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan, Sarabhai remains a towering figure in India's scientific heritage. Tapas Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
And on to some sports news now. The curtain falls on the Paris 2024 Olympic Games after 2 magnificent weeks. This epic celebration of sport and fellowship ends as it began, and baton has been handed over to Los Angeles for 2028. The awe-inspiring Stade de France transformed into a grand concert hall, celebrating the conclusion of the Paris Olympics with a spectacular closing ceremony. The event showcased a mesmerizing display of artistry. The glittering ceremony featured stars like Snoop Dogg, Billie Eilish and Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was a fantastic farewell to the 16-day event. Moreover, Tom Cruise attended the event to take the baton to Los Angeles in a style. Our correspondent Narayan Singh, who also witnessed the 2-hour show, tell us more about the ceremony.
The 33rd edition of the Olympic Games in Paris came to a close at the Stade de France, which is the national stadium of the France. And it was, we can say, the glittering closing ceremony. And unlike the opening ceremony, which was very ambitious and took place on the banks of the River Seine, the closing ceremony chose a more traditional path where the athlete parade took place, where the athletes from the different national Olympic committees having their parade. And we can say that it was a occasion to watch for the sports fans across the world. And if we talk about this closing ceremony, artists, performers from all over the world were here, especially Snoop Dogg was there, Billie Eilish was there, and also Red Hot Chili Pepper were also there. So the fans were enjoying everything what the performers did, but we can call it, it's a great day for the athletes. They were bidding adieu to this 16-day affair, where the competition was at the fierce level, where the positions of the teams were determined on the last day of the competition. So all in all, a fantastic affair, and we can say that it will be etched in the memory of the sporting fans for a long time. And talking about the other aspects of this ceremony, the Hollywood actor Tom Cruise was also there, and most importantly, the Paris Games 2024 handed over the baton to the Los Angeles 2028. It was also a very emotional affair. So all in all, we can say that this edition is closed, and the preparation for the next edition of the games has been started right from here.
Well, as the Paris Olympics 2024 concluded, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi appreciated the efforts of Indian contingent on social media handle X. PM Modi said, and I quote, "As the Paris Olympics conclude, I appreciate the efforts of the entire Indian contingent through the Games. All the athletes have given their best and every Indian is proud of them, wishing our sporting heroes the best for their upcoming endeavours." Unquote. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.